Wagwan, everybody, boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another So-So production. Monday, July the 11th, 2022. We're doing it together. Sip, sip to the gang. Today's gonna be an episode about a lot of things because a lot of things went down over the past weekend. A lot of things went up. A lot of things remained right down in the center of things, and we like to get to the bottom of it, or not. Or not, maybe we like to stay right on top of it. You never know with us. It's what we do, baby. Roll the dice, have some fun. Hope pretty safe and sound wherever you are, whether you're in Canada. We're going to talk about you, Canada. Today we're going to talk about you and what happened over this past weekend. But hope you're doing well in Americas, in Central America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea. Always a shout out. Australia, you know what it is. South Pole, North Pole, the islands, everybody doing it. Man, oh man, okay, let's talk about what happened over the past weekend, guys. I need to process this because this was extremely difficult for everybody. What am I talking about? I'm talking about Canadians. What we experienced over this, it went dark, things got dark, fam, quick, slowly but surely, second by second, minute by minute, hour by hour. It didn't go beyond that, 24 hours. For some people long. What am I talking about? It went dark, things got dark in here, fam. You might have seen the episode that uploaded on Saturday. You're like, why Saturday? You're so steady with everything. You let us know when things are happening. It's all, you're like, oh, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That's when I tune into, and I try to tune, but couldn't find the videos on Friday because there was a little mishap. And we'll get into it. Canada went dark. Internets. I'm talking about the telecommunication lines going down. Right, for the most part, down. Limited. Very limited. I didn't have any internet at home. A lot of people got impacted. And first you think, oh, it's just me. It's not you, it's me. First, that's what you think. So you go and your internet's not working. All of a sudden you find yourself crouching down, unplugging and plugging back the router, just doing some at-home DIY tech work like a technician with confidence because you've been here before. You're like, oh, I've been here before. Unplug, plug. Wait a couple of minutes, should run smooth. Doesn't happen. So you do it again like a technician, using all the knowledge that you've acquired throughout the years. The on button, the off button, plugging, unplugging, nothing is working. Next thing you know, oh, you notice that your phone's working with limited internets. Speeds are low, so you get online, and what do you find on the lines? Yeah, Canada, we had a broken communication. The lines went down. The internet it went dead on us. All right, we revived it, thankfully, together. You and I, mostly you. And I'll, shout out to the text, to all the. But we'll get into it. Why did it go down? First of all, okay. Why did it go down? Many speculate out there. Many suggest many things. You might have heard about it. Was it a cyber attack? Was it an act of cyberbullying? Was somebody trying to cyberbully Canada? You out there trying to cyberbully us through the cybers? You don't want to go cyber to cyber with the true north, fam. Was that what it was? Was it internal or was it external? That's what I want to know. We'll get to the bottom of it. Or not, because, again, access to information. What do I know? I don't know anything, but people speculated. And if it is external cyberbullying, let me just tell you something, Buster. I'm talking to you out there doing that cyberbullying, trying to attack the cyber. If that was a thing that you try to pull, let us just be very clear. We will not stand for that. We're gonna sit down, goddamn, because waiting on your feet gets tiresome, doesn't it? But we're not gonna sit on that either for too long. All right, you feel me? Let that be a lesson to you. That'll take us anywhere between 24 to 48 hours, depending on the region. And we'll get you that internet back up and running. So if it was, and we'll never know. Yeah, you don't mess with the polar bears. I'll go beaver on your ass, baby. You leave the internet be, all right? And I never thought, growing up, if you asked me as a teenager if I'd get passionate about the internet, I'd laugh at you. I'd be like, haha. I'd laugh. I'd be like, nevers. But look at us now, years into the future, looking back. And yeah, mans, ladies, it's a utility now. And it's, big pick energy, all is good. Big pick energy, you lose a day of internet, compared to most things. I'm not waking up with missing limbs. I'm not waking up with scurvy. I'm not waking up with flies in my eyeballs. You know what I'm talking about? Things are gooch. So let's not pretend like it's the end of the world. But was it a good demonstration? You're asking that's what I picked up. Was it a good demonstration? Hella fresh demonstrations. Whether it was just you know what it is. It could have been cyber attacks. Maybe not. It could have been what else could it have been a system overload? That's easy breezy system overload. Always happens to the best of us, But what are you gonna do? Was it system overload? Was it a malfunction of sorts? Was it technical difficulties? Even if you were to explain it to me, I probably wouldn't understand anyway. So let's just go with the easily comprehensible technical difficulties. It was a glitch of some sorts. The whole nation's internet just happens to go down on a very exciting and eventful Friday. You know what I'm talking, we'll get into it, but before we get further into it, because it was, man, if you're into thinking outside the box, and if you like to, if you like dots, and if you like connecting things, and if you like to look at things from different perspectives, it was an eventful weekend in and around the world. For different reasons, of course, and we'll get into it, but this raises questions, several questions, and many questions, and we'll try to see if we can find any answers together, of course, because I don't have the answers. I'm relying on most of you guys and gals out there to do the good work, the Lord's work, with the research, the teamwork, the gathering of the good intel. So what does this display to us? The internets went down. What happened, fam? What happened? People were, oh man, it got dark. It got dark. It was light out, but it felt like it's dark. Because what do you have to do? And when there's no internets, when phone lines are down, you couldn't even call 911, fam. You had to resort back to old school, which was yelling out. I heard people yelling out 911 on corner streets, just yelling digits, waiting, sitting. People were sketching, trying to etch 911 into the size of buildings so that later down the line in the futures they can come back and scan it with some sort of laser tech and be like, man, wonder what these folks were thinking about. And then they'll have to match the date and then look at the timeline and be like, oh, they had a blackout, they must have been freaking out, they were probably trying to say something, they were asking for help. So let this video be a reminder that good people were tested on Friday in Canada, but we stood firm. We held it tight. Some of us had a little bit of a challenging time, not gonna lie, because people we're so used to it. That's the thing. If it wasn't a thing that we're used to, I wouldn't say anything. If this was the 80s, if it was the 70s, if it was the 60s, 50s, lines, schmines, bro. Who cares if the lines be down? The lines will get back up again. You know what I'm talking about? But we're so used to it. We're embedded with tech. That's how, tech is within us, You check the phone, there's no connection. Something inside you is missing. It's like a part of you's not connected anymore. Gosh. But it's a good reminder, set your phone down, set the laptop down, go spend some time with the family. You don't have one, join one. Try to put your, best foot forward, make a good impression. Hey, everybody, want a new addition to the fam is what you'll say on a day like this with no internets. Hey, the more the merrier, bring it in. Grab a slice of pie. But the point is that it leads you to ask questions, because if people have to start using their imagination, like I said, you're gonna have to start squeezing thoughts out there into the ether just for the hopes of people picking it up on the other side. Mama, I missed you is what you'd be thinking, but is it going through? I don't know. What's mama thinking about? Who knows? Or other times I saw, it got real dark, man. You're like, how dark did it get? People started to use their imagination, and things got squirrely. Because when you're dependent on the lines, when you're looking at the lines for every businesses, okay, transactions could not be completed, inquiries within and without. People were trying to type, nothing was coming up. Crazy shit. Right out of the movies, the good ones, the memorable ones. Malfunction in the internet, the systems crumbling. God, hope not. You know what I mean? So, leads you to questions. But the thing is, if your businesses are reliant on the lines, and all of us to a certain degree are reliant, our business. I nearly lost billions of dollars because that's what it is. Every day counts, baby. How am I gonna be? We're gonna have to, that's why we're kicking it hard. That's why we're going strong. That's because we gotta make up for lost times. Doesn't mean we're not gonna focus on the past. We're gonna move forward, but I don't want to ever see that again. Whether it's businesses or you wanted to check out your favorite podcast, you wanted to just scroll down the internet, just send an email, just a casual email. Couldn't do it, could you? Like a gentleman, like a lady, you wanted to sit down and go to a X-rated website for adults to have yourself a little me time. And guess what? On Friday in Canada, millions and millions of adults, oh God, it's so painful, had to resort to their imagination to get off. Now, what kind of world do we live in when a man and a woman have to use their imagination to get off? How low will we go? Do you like to limbo? Do you like to get down? Well, I do too. But guess what, fam? Once you're accustomed to something, it's so hard to go back. There have been rumors, people trying to imagine things, but imagination's been dulled out. Due to the fanciness of the tech, of course, and we loves the tech, but your imagination's been people try to imagine pictures, nothing will come up. Stick figures would come out. That's what you saw people struggling on the streets on their way home, trying to, I can't. How do you draw a boob in your mind when you've only been used to seeing one on the telly, or the iPad or your laptop or your phone? Hopefully things are going well, you get to see them in real life, so you don't even have to resort to these things. But generally speaking, it's a thing, it's out there, no judgments in here. I'm saying, man, people struggle hard, and I don't want to see any other Canadians have to struggle the way some might have on that day, okay? It's easy to be like, go out for a walk. We've done that. People have done that. They've tried that. But hey, it's been several days. You've not done anything, and you know what? It's downtime. Now it's downtime. How about a little time for yourself? Okay? So that's all I want to say. I don't want to ever see that again. Just people having to use their imagination to do whether it's just go outside and play. People didn't know. People have heard of it now. It's become a thing where people have heard of a thing called the imagination. We're like, how do you do it? You go out, you find somebody, you mingle. But you saw people attempt. There was a battle going on inside, this innate battle for, yes, the natural, the natty human without the tech. People were trying to go to coffee shops, so to maybe get a little bit of connection through the coffee shop that might or might not have internet at their spot, and some did, and so you saw people, crowding outside some of the coffee shops in and around the city, trying to dip into the nets, hanging around, lingering on the coffee shops, just for a little bit. That's what we are, man. We're tech addicts. We're that was a great demonstration, because all of us, we're addicted to this shit. Take a look at yourselves, man, in the mirror, ladies. Do it. It's crazy out there, but we're so reliant on it. If it goes, and it got me thinking about a million things. Holy smokes. Okay. 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 Oh yeah. Let's really get into it. I've got a question. I've got a question. Okay. So, is are we hold on a second. Is cash king again? Is this the comeback for the cash to be king once again? Hear me out. You're like, no way. No way. I'm used to credit cards and the internets and the interwebs and everything being digitized and digital and Digimon and digits on the lines. I'm used to that. I likes that. Money is dirty. Money's dirty all in all its forms, but nonetheless, we've decided that we're gonna keep it around. So it's a thing. And if I'm not a fan of it. I say but that's what it is. We're gonna have to all move together. So that for the time being, if we were to have monies, is cash king? Because think about it, fam, for a second. On a day like that, on a Friday, I try to go out there and buy a pack of smokes. And your boy couldn't just go out there like a gentleman and just tap his little cardi card. Why? Because the ATM machine's not working. The little cash register's not working. It's because it's got a little device, it's got a little machine with the pins in it where you swipe or you insert or you punch, not working. So you can't buy anything. Now, what do if all your cash is in the bank and the ATMs are not working? You don't have any cash on you. Now what are you out doing? You're looking like a damn fool. That's what you're doing. Patting yourself down. So your boy had to go real old school, had to make a trip back home and start looking, start thinking. Where's all my loose change? Flipping couch cushions over. I already knew there was nothing underneath it, but I wanted to do it for old time's sake. Because I remember a time when I used to live with my folks, and time and again I'd flip the couch cushion over and you find a toonie or a loony in there, and it was jackpot. But I know nobody else is residing in this unit, so to my surprise, nothing was there. The life or otherwise is up to you to decide. But that's aside the point. I did have some loose change that I come across every once in a while. Every now and again you'll get a 10 or a 20 or a 50 or 100 that you'll break. And you'll have some coins and you'll slip it somewhere. And I've done that. And I managed to gather enough to go buy me a pack of smokes, which was nice. And I'll tell you this, it was a reminder. I'm like, oh shit, what if this went down for longer? Because we had an outage for 24 hours, most of us at least. Some a little bit less, some a little bit longer. On average, I'd say most people had 24 hours of interruptions with their internets, with their phones, with their telecommunications. That's all there is to it. Now, in a situation, if this were to get prolonged due to whatever reason, who cares what caused it, all right? I do, and you do, but whether it's whatever it is, what it is that it demonstrates that, man, if this shit goes on for like 2 days or 3 days or 4 days or a week, we're all a little screwed, aren't we? In many aspects, because if the internets and the phone lines go down, you can't get access to anybody or anything. And where does that leave you? Are you ready to go all natty again? Are you ready to go out and be all natty, son? And the thing is, if the ATMs, if the cash registers are not working properly, how do you even pay for stuff? You're like, oh, it's all easy. If the shit hits the fan for whatever reasons, I'll grab me car, I'll grab people that I love, I'm gonna put everybody in the car, I'm gonna just drive somewheres into nature. Or maybe you have a little cabin somewhere. Or maybe whatever. So you have a little, you're gonna go but man, cities, us, city dwellers, we're trapped in a sense, or really reliant. So we need this shit to be working like all day, every day. And for the most part it does, but this is not the first that this has happened. We had another similar event roughly maybe a year or two ago, and it wasn't pretty. Things got dark again. Legit, people struggling out there, in here's all around. So leads us to think about many things. And what was I saying just a minute ago? Yeah, what do you do if it gets prolonged? And I'm like, okay, forget about forget about potential hacks, forget about what about natural disasters, fam? What about a major solar flare? I believe I was doing a little mini research just to see what kind of like solar flare it will take for us to get the grid wiped out, and we have them apparently we have solar flares happening every 10 or 11 years, but they're not that, it's all right, we can take it. But every once in a while you get hit with a big one, and we apparently got hit with a really big one back in 1850s, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, again according to the internets and the interwebs research and development and acquiring of the information. But point is that if something like that, if it's been recorded, it knocked out all the radio stations or telecommunications. I'm butchering it right now because I'm a little high, but that's aside the point. That's aside the point. Point is that if we get a big solar flare, okay, and it hits us, and the power how much time will it take us to get everything back up? You're like, if that kind of thing hits, does it have further repercussions? I don't know. Let's say it doesn't impact anything else but the power grid. Let's say we're good. Let's say it doesn't impact the, because you got to always be careful of these things. It's floating in space, man. We're floating in space. It's nuts out there. But it's lovely. It's a hell of an experience. Wouldn't trade it for anything. And we're all just a bunch of, that's the thing, man. It's stuff like that reminds us that we got to come together, man. We gotta, bring the gang, bring everybody in, just all sides, sit down, break some bread, feed each other. And you're like, I don't want to feed that guy. That guy's not my. Start force feeding somebody that you don't want to force feed. Or something along those lines. Share is what I'm saying, so that, in case of major things going down, we can come together and fixes it fast. But the point is, man, because like if it happens, if a solar flare goes down, how do we, so should we have, what are you guys doing? What are you gals doing? Because I'm asking these out loud, but I'm also thinking about it myself. What am I doing should I have a little cash at home? Is that safe? Should I take all the cash out of my bank account? And where does that lead us to all this talk we've been hearing, and we keep, it's, 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You never know what to do with it until it's a little bit too late, because it's talking about crypto, dog. Talking about the onlines, talking about the, everything being on the lines. Some people pushing for it, some people being skeptical. I'm somewhere in between. I don't know. Some of the tech is good. I like tech. Who doesn't like tech? Blockchain tech, as much as I understand it, good tech, nice tech, solid tech. Same rate, I always ask what the tech is being used for. If it's helping humanity, team humanity, super. If it's just helping an elite, specific group of people, and others are just becoming consumers, and people are reliant on it, I'm not a big fan of that shit. So, and it's still, it's still a mystery. I don't feel good about it, but everything seems to be moving towards that trajectory, more infusion with the tech, right? So, but that being said, fam, let's pull it back together for a second. If you goes online and puts all your money into some sort of digital currency or some sort of crypto, and the power goes out, internet goes down, phone lines go down, what do? You know what I mean? It's something. And it's interesting that all of this happened, because Friday was a weird day globally. A lot of big, doesn't personally impact me, or it probably doesn't impact you either, but we had, in Japan, you had former Japanese PM, that stands for Prime Minister. That's basically the first minister, essentially. That's what that is. We had him, and when I say we, I mean them, because I'm not in it, you're not in it either, so that we is them, whoever them is they. Somebody had somebody assassinated, or somebody did it all by themselves on their own, all right? There was an assassination, you guys might have heard. I mean, that sucks. Like, nobody likes it, but that's the obvious. Nobody's on pro-assassin. Nobody's for assassinations. Let's just get that out of the way. Everybody's on board. Assassinations, no bueno. Having said that, things that happen on that set, it's just, one has nothing to do with the other. One completely unrelated. One has nothing to do with the other thing at all on the same day. Because one's here, others over there, and you have a PM that gets assassinated. Now, that's just me retelling you something that you've already might have heard of or might have seen on the interwebs once again. So this is not breaking news, but an interesting aspect of my mind travels to places like many of your minds happen to travel to places, and it just gets to thinking. I'm like, man, yes, it's displaying to us that there's a fella, he was a former PM, giving a speech and getting assassinated, but and I'm taking what I'm seeing as what it is for what it is. It's an assassination. Shinzo Abe. Shinzo Abe. Shinzo Abe. Shinzo Abe. Abe. Shinzo Abe. Rip hard. I don't know the man. I didn't know the man, so I don't know. It just sucks when people get assassinated. That aspect of it sucks. But what could I say about Shinzo? Shinzo Abe was a Japanese man, full Japanese. He was loved by some and probably not loved by some others, because that happens. And that also leads you to another coincidence that's way back. You're now connecting the dots. You're like, man, if I have Abe in my name, in any portion of my name and I run for some sort of office position in government, is that a good idea? Because one Abe in politics, assassinated. Second Abe in politics, assassinated. If it walks like a duck, if it talks like a duck, if it starts eating like a duck, swimming like a duck, shopping like a duck, driving like a duck, flying like a duck, swimming with a duck. Pretending to be an ugly duckling one day and then flourishing to be one of the most beautiful ducklings out there. Typical classic duck activity. Okay, quack, quack, baby, quack, quack. Okay? So with that being said, if you got Abe anywhere in your name and you're thinking politics, maybe this is, I'm just saying, just putting it out there for you. Now, I don't know much about it, but it's what I like to focus on a little bit is like, man, you know how we're getting it's wacky Mondays, baby. Let's just put it on the table. We're going wacky Mondays. Let's go a little bit silly with it if we can, if we may. You know how you can't tell if something's for real, and I'm not saying this isn't for real at all. It's for reals probably most likely. But hypothetically, wacky, wonderful world that we live in. Hypothetically, if somebody were to, could you fake assassinate? Could you fake kill? And I've always been interested in this idea because there are some, it's just I'm not saying this is by any means stretch of the imagination. Let's just get that. But I'm just saying, because I heard like many of you guys, but I was interested. I'm like, man, when was the last time a government figure got assassinated? So I'm just trying to watch the videos of him getting popped, and I couldn't find any that is because once you're viewing something, you'd like it to be a clear shot. You like to not the shooting. You like the video to be a clear shot. You like it to be on the fella, and then you like to get ideally, if a crime like that happens, you like to get everything in one shot. So you're like, oh yeah, you see that guy walking, getting close, pulling something out, popping, just whacking somebody right there. You see it, but I didn't see any videos of a clear, continuous shot of them. I heard 2 gunshots, and the videos that I saw were showing Abe giving a speech, and then as soon as you hear the first gunshot, the video starts rattling all around, and he's out of the picture. And I'm not saying that, like, he's dead. He's dead, most likely, probably, most likely. But, like, you know, for today's a day of imagination after all, because we had to use our imagination on Friday, and that's what happens. This is just imaginations at work, playing. Potentially, could you do it? You could, couldn't you? Because like the guy that they had as again, this is just for fun exercises, if you will. Guy was wearing a mask. You could easily, man, that's what I'm saying. Like, none of this makes sense, of course, but it's possible. I'm not saying that this is, but I'm just saying if you wanted to, potentially, you know what I mean? I don't know what I mean, so you guys make it that way you will. But no, but he's definitely, because that happens, he's dead, for sure he's dead. And then we had the same day, the entire power went down, crazy. And also, in Senior Sri Lanka, or commonly known as Sri Lanka, okay? Senior Sri Lanka, they also had a wacky day. Overthrow of the government of sorts, you know, they rushed the presidential palace. The president's running, PM's running, country is flipped. So it was eventful, it was a globally eventful weekend. And yeah, a lot of, man. Here's the thing, okay, if you're running for president, if you're running for prime minister and you're giving speeches, I say it's time we introduce, let's make a product for you guys and gals out there. All you guys and gals should be going out there with, I'm thinking a broomstick right over your collar, right over or your shoulder, front or back, wherever you want to place. And then we put 2 puppets that resemble you, look-alike puppets, your doppelganger puppets on the side, okay? And you be given the speech, and that in and of itself, you're creating now 3 targets, so it's very hard for them to, whoever them is, to distinguish which is hopefully they'd be good puppets, but they don't, some of the politicians, and so it could be legit, like, lame puppets, and you still wouldn't be able to tell, right? So they'd be yap, and God forbid, because you don't want that happening to anybody happen, but they shoot the wrong one, and you're like, it's obvious, the one in the middle, switch it up, dude. Sometimes you be the far right, then you could be the far left, then you could be the middle, so they don't know. You got to make it wider, dude. I'd be giving speeches with like longer broomsticks, 4 or 5 people on each side, dude. You know what I mean? If that's your realm, think outside the box. You're like, what about holograms? And frankly, it's been done, they've been doing it, and it'd be hard to, I'm not gonna, you know, it's hard to take politicians seriously when they're being their real selves and in real time. So if you put a hologram there, that'll just, I don't know how I feel about that, dude. I don't know how I feel. You could definitely throw more stuff at the hologram at least. That would, you know, if you want to bring tomatoes and chuck it at the holograms, then no problem, because you can that just goes through, you know. Sticks and stones don't affect this concoction that they've created, but words will never enter their heads, because it's just there's something there. Wait key politicians, it's their eyes, dude. It's like most of them 99.99%, let's be honest. But, you know, wacky, wonderful world that we live in, hilarious events. Sad, unfortunate, some of them. That's, you know, shit happens in life. And yeah, so, and also I gotta say, Japanese assassination, again, not down with assassinations whatsoever, but if you're gonna, How you're in Japan? How you not gonna ninja assassinate? If you're gonna assassinate, how you gonna roll up with a, was it a DIY gun? Somebody's, again, reading article, DIY gun, and which leads to another, a whole other array of questions and thoughts. Thoughts like, oh, a government or a nation that's almost, zero tolerance on guns. And look, people who want to get guns still get guns and do horrible, horrendous things. So, and that leads to other further questions. You're like, man, it's overload with the questions. I get it, but we got to talk about it because this is, everything's connected, my friends, for the most part. Some things are completely, one thing's over here, one thing's over there, one has nothing to do with the other thing on the same day. Nothing. Okay? So you leave it at that. With that being said, events like this could easily be hijacked. No, wait, hold on. Before I go into that, yeah, dude, I'm a little bit cheesed about if you're gonna assassinate and you're in Japan, you ninja that shit. I'm not down with it whatsoever, but if you're the one not ninjaing it in Japan, you just average. You look like every other Japanese person, just being average with, take it back. Like, just saying. If not saying you should at all. That is not at all. How can I emphasize this more? At all. But how you gonna go plant a gun or, hot glue in a gun, dude? Lame. Just saying, little ninja star, little fucking smoke bomb, disappear. Where is he? Still right there. Right there, get him. Still smoke right behind him. We're leaving a trail of smoke. It's that guy. Another one. Where is he? Further down there, just follow smoke. This smoke is not, it's, maybe that's, to each their own, man. You do you. You do you. But, don't do at all. But let's move beyond this. Let's move past this. I had to, out there. So, anywho, anytime, anywhere we find ourselves and circumstances that lead to questions, it's good to question questions. But, it's times like these that, one of my major concerns is like, should we stick with the old cash route? Because cash is some romantic about cash, some more touchy-feely, tangible, more human about cash. I remember seeing at times cash with little plastic band around it, or a little, nice wad of cash. Just you take out a wad of cash, you put it on the table. That cash speaks for itself. We doing business today or what? Cash on the table, wad of cash here, wad of cash there. And one of my favorite things to people licking their thumbs and counting the bills. Did we have Schmovid back? No. Why? Because we were basically eating little fecal matter off each other's little, every time you went this, that dollar bill was in bathroom stalls being rolled up to snort coke off a hooker's butthole. No disrespect to anybody. You do what you do to put the monies on the tables, to bring the foods to the tables and the roof over the family's head, and you don't have a family, and it's all for you. You're doing med school, but med school is fucking expensive. Somebody's got to pay for this shit, so you're doing your best. I get it. Nonetheless, it's still dirty, okay? Point is, I kind of missed this with the cash. And then also, you can't make it rain digitally. You can't. You can't. You could. You could. You could actually go fucking high tech, take years of, I don't know what it takes to do that. But you get in it and you dive deep into the tech world and you figure a way out to get nice rain like images and combine them with somebody getting transacted, you're getting that transaction, baby. You're getting some trans action on the side, and it rains digitally. Unless computers start getting wet, dude. That's what we need. Is your phone dry, and you want to make it rain digitally? Me too. Sounds kind of nice, actually. But for the time being, our phones are dry. And I don't know how long it's going to take us to get there. There have been talks, there have been rumors and murmurs, but I don't know. Point is that cash is safe. Cash, you can purchase things on the spot. What is that, a hot dog? Oh, yeah, 2 of those. For me and myself, because I eat 2 hot dogs at a time. Bulking season. Time to put on some mass for the gains. But you could also buy other things. Or you could just know that you could buy things immediately. Just have it on you. But I'm going to keep it all close to me and save up. But if I wanted to, I could. Right then and there. Right then and you could just roll up, just put the cash on the table, fly away with a car. You could. But now, log in first. Make sure you have enough. Make sure you get the receiving address right with the pens and so much. I just want it to be. Sometimes there's a part of me that likes cash. It's more intimate. It's romantic. And money's not romantic anymore. When a fellow or a lady took out a wad of cash, there's just some romantic about that. Some romantic as just to you saying it could have just been 1 wad of cash, and that's not even a lot of money, right? But that's romantic. I don't care if you could have millions in the online digital bank account statements on the lines, but you don't have access to it. That is romantic. That you could do anything with that. You could eat it if you like. You could sleep on it. You could rest on it a little bit. You could, if shit got real bad. And the money wasn't even good for you anymore, you couldn't even use. You could at least burn it for warmth. Let's say it's cold outside in the mean streets of digital world. Light it on fire, and you're crying as you're lighting it on fire because just a little while back it was worth something, but now zero value, almost zero value with the inflation. Oh, so you might as well set it on fire, but no, we're not there yet. Will it get there? I don't know. I'm hoping not, dude, because let's maintain certain things. The point is that I don't want anybody out there, government officials, corporate media, jumping on different things to come in there and tell you that you should be fearful, that you should be see to all the different things that all these different events that happen just point to, I think we need more. Again, I've said it before, and I meant it, I'll say it again, more decentralization, fam. There's too much reliance on big corporations to be too many things, whether it's providing services, utilities like telecommunications, or coming in there and saying, we need some sort of a broad, general, wide, broad-shouldered, overreach government agency looking into things. So to keep you safe and sound, you always need that government agency or big brother, big daddy coming in there and just telling you what to do, what not to do. Because at the end of the day, people do what they want to do, man. People do what they want to do. So it's just, I don't know if that made any sense. I tried. I really gave it a good old try. I'll tell you what, man. I tried. I'll keep on trying. The point is that we all need to just keep up the good work, keep up the good spirits, think outside the box together, and you're like, how do we make sure that, how do we make sure that what I'm trying to say is, one thing that I'd like to say is, because I've been from the outside, far from the outside, I've just been paying attention little by little, like many of you guys and gals out there. How do you make sure your people, our people, we're us people, and the people that we elect and select to put in different parts of governmental bodies, or different parts of society that run significant, how do we make sure they're not susceptible to corruption and doing questionable businesses that are no bueno for the majority but are super bueno for the elite minority? Let's start with the basics. Let's say your government officials start heading into meetings such as the World Economic Forum, and let's say there's somebody like Klaus Schwab giving speeches of how they'd like to infiltrate governments all across the globe and select members of those governments, bring them into their little club of elite global governments, and create some sort of global elite without borders, without countries, governance. So if your prime minister or if your president is showing up to a meeting hosted by, or attended by Klaus Schwab or the likes of Klaus Schwab, that should probably be an indicator. Because if the world wars were happening right now, like the one and twos, let's say the two was happening, and let's say you got into a coma. Okay, shit went down, shrapnel, left, right, center, you go into a coma, and for some reason they were able to maintain you, you're still alive today, and you happen to wake up. You wake up and you're just like, oh man, what a long snooze. You're looking great, tip top, you're still in your 30s or 40s, looking fantastic. I don't know how, that's hypothetical, sitch. You catch somebody by the name of Klaus Schwab on the telly, you'd be like, well, okay, well, it's clear which side won. It's oh God. You know what I mean? You'd be like, oh man, I can't believe the Allies lost, that is what you say. It'd be like, oh, that guy? Well, so, if it, again, sounds like a duck, walks like a duck, swims like a duck, talks to other ducks, most likely a fan of ducks. Again, I don't know if any of this made any sense. We're going to try to make sense of it together as we go along. There are many questions, and a lot of it can be overwhelming. But it's not. It's actually a lot of fun to think about, because we're a bunch of problem solvers and we like to think about things that are not directly impacting us, but more or less directly impacting us. You know what I mean? Just saying, fam. On another slight little teeny tiny note that's been on my mind also, when are we going to get rid of the remaining mandates in Canada and the US and across the globe for that matter? Traveling. Why do we still need to have these? Because I get on the Google sometimes, I'm like, oh, do I need a vaccine to get into the US via air or vehicle? Do I need that? And sometimes the answer comes back, yes. And there's no logic behind that. So I humbly ask you, why, fam? Are we gonna put up with this nonsense? How much longer will you? Because it makes no sense. The science is out. The science constantly changes. No one medicine is gonna fix anything 100%. So that being said, let go of the mandates, dude. Let go. It's been way too long. You're not letting go now. Things are just saying. Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, we came in here. We had a ball. It's Monday. I had a lot to think about. Use my imagination on the weekend. We're going to get things moving in many directions. With your help, with a little bit of my help, Mostly your help though, because it takes all of us. I thank you. I thank everybody else out there. Whoever's doing oh, also, yeah, I'm very thankful, very grateful for, I wanted to say this, the comedy in itself, I'm very thankful for, and also the comedians out there who are doing it on different levels. You know who you are. Many of you guys and gals are, oh man, I don't want to get emotional. I'm not gonna get emotional. I just want to say I love you and I appreciate what you all does, and I thank you. And yeah, things are looking good, boys and girls, ladies and gents. Let's just say that. Send everybody love, everybody else out there, whatever you're doing, whether you're in medicine, whether you're in law enforcement, whether you're in the trades, whether you're, whatever you're doing. Supports it 100%. Keep kicking butt. Love you all. It's Monday. Once again, where can you find these videos? YouTube for the full-length videos. On Instagram, you get the portions. It's segments, slices, little 10-minute little snippets right in there. Get you a quick fix before whatever's that needs to be done. You know what I mean? You need a little pep talk before you hit that box, daddy. Hit that box. Lady, you want to be getting some of that extra loving from go get that extra loving from your fella, lady. I supports you too. Who else? Supporting everybody as much as we can. Mostly it's all about family, and we're family, man. Fuck, I can't believe it's almost been 2 years. We're getting so close. I'm all good. Don't worry about me. I'm all good. Think outside the box. Have fun. Stay silly with it. Ask questions. Let's move, baby. Let's shake and bake. I'll see you guys back here again on my... Oh, don't forget to check out Patreon and talk about it, because this shit's that shit that you want to be talking about. Next time you're at a dinner party, everybody's coming in with the same old. You coming in there, just slide your phone right there via the text and just put on an episode. Next thing you know, you're the talk of the town. You're already the talk of the town, aren't you? Oh, Mr. Fancy Pants, talk of the town. Okay there, Fancy Nancy. Looking at you, baby boo. Keep doing it. Rock and roll. Talk soon. Peace out. Stay safe. Wiggle your toes.